One Jennifer McCreath, February 25th, 2015. Our Canadian Senate Committee on Justice Issues has officially sunk a poison pill, as it's known, into a bill. Bill 279, an act that would amend the Human Rights Act of Canada to include gender identity as grounds for discrimination, among other things. This bill has passed the House. It has passed through 2 readings of the Senate. Now all of a sudden, one senator named Don Plett from Manitoba had proposed an amendment to the bill, which then led to the committee voting on whether or not to agree with this amendment, which they did. 5 Conservatives and 1 Liberal want to change. Now, this act is supposed to provide exclusive human rights protection to a vulnerable group. What they've done, I'm glad they eliminated the definition that was there for a gender identity, but now they're replacing it with something even worse, an exclusion. Human rights will only be appointed and allowed to people who cite gender identity as a matter outside of so-called sex-segregated spaces. And by definition of sex, Mr. Plett is essentially saying what's in between your legs and or what sex are you legally noted on your government birth certificate. He says he does not want women with penises going into his granddaughter's shower. However, he totally forgot that he's going to be sending trans men, fully transitioned with deep voice and big beard, with not necessarily a penis, in those change rooms. He's sending me in there. I get it. I'm not very feminine. In fact, based on just this video, you're probably going to say, Jennifer, you got no makeup, you got no hair, you got a deep voice, you're not passable as a woman at all. But according to Mr. Plett, all that matters is what's between my legs. What does my birth certificate say? Well, those are female parts. And Plett, I could accept your amendment and still walk into those bathrooms and scare the living fuck out of your daughter who's trying to take a shit. I guess scare the shit out of her would be the correct terminology. Again, I'm not going to do that, but I just wanted to point out that I could. And there are others that just might do this. We need trans human rights more than anything else in this country. The trans community continues to suffer from discrimination, employment, housing, delivery of healthcare products and service, funding of healthcare products and services, as well as victimizations of violence, including murder. We need a bill that gives us exclusive human rights protection for the basis of gender identity or gender expression without any definition or exclusion. And Plett, you're just the fall guy. It's really Stephen Harper running the government and running the Senate. And the solution, trans people, is twofold. One, we need to stand up to these folks and fight their half-bigoted image. Maybe we need to have shit-ins. Let's take post-op trans women and pre-op trans men and go into the very female spaces that he talks about. Because as far as he's concerned, as long as you have a vagina, you're a female. It doesn't matter if you're a trans man or whatever. A few little incidents will make it abundantly clear that this is not going to solve his perceived problem. And 2, we need to vote out Stephen Harper. We need to vote in a party that's going to allow a bill to pass. And we need a bill. We also need a party that will provide Senate reform. I believe the NDPers are on record with saying they would abolish it. Either get rid of the Senate or turn it into electable 4-year term positions electable by the public and not patronage appointments. Because right now we got a Senate full of people that have been in there for 15, 20, 30 years. They don't represent the people. The sober second thought, I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. And I mean, I'm really upset and disappointed. I mean, this particular clause won't technically affect me, but it still sends a message that trans people are not human. In fact, we are perceived as problems. People to be afraid of. People not to feel comfortable hanging around with. And for that, I feel utterly disgusted here on so-called National Anti-Bullying Day. Well, fuck you. I've just been bullied by the government. Perhaps the most worst bullying of all time. Even worse than the time I was stopped at customs. Twice, actually. I've had 2 customs. 3 as a trans person. Yeah, that's a whole other topic. Crossing the border as trans, not fun. Scrutiny, discrimination, horrible. Pay attention. I'm going to be organizing. I've got some ideas. We're going to deal with this in a positive way. We're going to take advantage of the opportunity to discuss this issue, discuss the killing of this bill, the potential to come up with new ideas and new solutions that can be passed under a new ABC campaign. So stay tuned, folks. Jennifer McCreath, thanks for watching.